We're joined by Foost. He's president of the IFO Institute. Mr. Foost, thank you for joining us. As always, what's your main concern and what is concerning Germans right now? Is it the economy or the pandemic?
Well, I would say it's two factors here that are concerning companies. One is the supply bottlenecks, shortages in intermediate products. It's not just semiconductors, it's metal products, it's plastic products, paper even. And then it's certainly the pandemic. We see rising infection numbers, and we see that in the sectors most threatened by that development, tourism, hospitality, restaurants. Expectations for the next 6 months are declining. So it's really these two factors that are weighing on the German economy at the moment.
I mean, how much of the growth outlook will have to be revised downwards as flagged by the Bundesbank?
Well, it is quite clear that the growth outlook will have to be revised downwards. It's difficult to say by how much at this stage. So a lot will depend on how the supply bottlenecks develop. What we see in this month is that in manufacturing, things are actually getting worse rather than better, because 70% of our companies are now telling us they have problems with the supply of intermediate goods. In the last month, this was significantly lower, around 60. So this is not becoming better. And if that continues, it will be a significant downgrade of the growth outlook. A lot will also depend on the pandemic and on how the vaccination campaign continues. If more people are vaccinated, we can live with higher infection numbers. And the increase will be dampened. But if vaccinations continue to slow, I think we really have a problem.
I mean, as we ramp up also our coverage, Mr. Foost, of the German election, how do you see it panning out? I mean, if you look at the various factions and as outsiders are trying to understand exactly what German voters will focus on, what do you think the main focus will be in the next 26 days?
The focus will certainly be on this very tight race between the Social Democrats and the Conservatives, and the focus will be on the two candidates very much. The third party, the Greens, are a lot weaker now because their candidate hasn't fared well, but it will be really a focus on these two persons. And currently, the Scholz, the Social Democrat, is a lot more popular. So the Conservatives will have a hard time turning that around. And that, of course, increases uncertainty about the outcome of the elections.
So as voters go to the polls, what do you think they'll be thinking about? How much of it, again, will be supply chains? How much will be, climate change sustainability, or actually what's happening in Afghanistan? I'm asking because you have a great barometer of actually the way Germany functions and what voters and consumers are feeling.
I think voters are concerned about these general major challenges. Climate change, how do we preserve the current incomes, current jobs in Germany in the face of policies to address climate change? How do we deal with growing international competition difficulties in the car industry? And they will vote for the party and the candidate they deem able to address these issues. So they are looking for someone who is competent and convincing to address these challenges. And whoever is better at convincing the voters will win these elections.